Buenos dias. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. And good night, Australia. Thank you so much for your presence here in this Saturday with me, with the Royal Teton Retreat Brotherhood. I hope you have a beautiful week and that you are ready for our service today. Good night, Australia. So I think we have viewers there. So good morning. Blessed morning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Today we have a long service because the subject of the Thoughtforms is a little complex. So we might stay here over 1.5 hours, I think. So, dear hearts, let us place the attention on our I am presence and start this service in the light, for the light, and by the light of God that never fails. So let's go. Welcome to the 7 Sacred Weeks vlog 35. In today's service, we will perform the alignment with our I am presence. Then we are going to do just few decrees and visualization, and then we are going to finish the service talking about thought forms. And to start, just feel the presence within your heart. And connect the presence within your physical heart with the presence in the electronic body. And just invite your I am presence to take a command, hold the dominion, and produce perfection through your physical instrument. Send your love and gratitude to your I am presence. And let us start this service with the opening blessing. Beloved mighty I am presence here, there, and everywhere, we love, bless, and thank you forever, forever and beyond, for I am in you, and you are in me. We are one on this journey through eternity. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And now, let us move our attention to the Christmas star above our house and just feel the expansion of its light and visualize millions of light rays descending upon the area where you live, charging this area with ascended master consciousness, ascended master love, ascended master wisdom, ascended master happiness, ascended master perfection. And visualizing that you live in a place of love and bliss. And now connect that star above your house to the star above the Rocky Mountains. And feel your connection to the heart of the seven sacred ways, which is in the Rocky Mountains, and feel the brotherhood of the Royal Teton Retreat feel their presence. The Ascended Masters are there. I can feel and see the presence of beloved Lanto. And may the Ascended Masters can support us during this service, can protect our atmospheres, our internet connection, our force field, the sphere of light that we build around this planet. And may they pour their presence through us, through this force field, to this planet, to mankind. And I know it's done and it's sustained. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. Now, dear hearts, let us take the water and do the call for the Elixir of Life. Beloved I Am Presence, Saint Germain, Brotherhood of the Royal Teton Retreat, Lords of the Elements, and powers of light, please charge this mineral water with whatever substances and virtues we need to restore the beauty, youth, health, vitality, and perfection of the Ascended Masters in our physical bodies. When you drink this water at the end of our decrees. By the light of God that never fails, I command, I demand, and it's done right now. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. So let's put the water to be charged during our service. And now just relax your body, your shoulders, your neck, the muscles of your face so that the energy can flow in through and around your head. And when you feel relaxed, focus your attention on your mighty I Am presence, which lies straight above you in line with your head. Pour forth your deepest love and gratitude to your presence and say, my beloved I Am presence, I send you my deepest love and gratitude. Be within me and let me be in you forever. And let us now align our four lower bodies with our source of light, our beloved mighty and presence in our electronic body. Visualize it descending from your beloved I Am presence, a ray of golden liquid light entering through the top of your head, flowing down into your heart, feeling and expanding it to form a golden sphere of light. Feel the expansion of this light in your heart and the illumination of your breast area. Now, imagine your heart pumping this light up through the same inner channel into your brain. Visualize this golden liquid flooding all the cells of your brain until your brain structure expands, expands, and expands, forming another golden sphere of light. Feel the expansion of this light in your brain and the illumination of your head. And when your heart and brain are completely purified and filled with this light, unite the two golden spheres in one activity of love, wisdom, and power, so that the heart and brain become only one, a sun of dazzling light. At first, visualize the sun just in the upper part of your body. Now, feel this sun expanding, expanding, and expanding until it envelops your entire body. Visualize your body made of pure light substance in the center of the sun, blazing millions and millions and millions of light rays into all directions. Then repeat with me, I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. Now, visualize starting from your heart a golden ray of pure divine love ascending through the same inner channel, reaching the heart of your beloved higher mental body, your Christ self. Flood your higher mental body with your deepest love and gratitude, feeling and enveloping it until another radiant sun forms, similar to the lower sun and in fact the same. Now repeat, my beloved higher mental body, I bow before you in perfect obedience and adoration. Show me the way to the Father and let me see the Father face to face. Visualizing now another golden ray of pure divine love expanding from your heart, ascending through the same inner channel, transcending your higher mental body, and reaching the heart of your beloved I Am presence in your electronic body. Feel your love flooding your I Am presence until another radiant sun forms. Then repeat, my beloved I Am presence, descend your light into my human heart and let me be your master presence on earth. I am ready and I am willing. I am willing. I am willing. In this moment of absolute surrender, the lower sun that you are in this human octave begins to rise and is absorbed into the heart of the intermediate sun, which becomes even more radiant and also rises, being absorbed into the heart of the upper sun. And in this perfect marriage of the three suns, a great explosion of light occurs. For a moment, you lose the notion of time and space, and you are one with the heart of creation. And from that heart, the source of light surges, a glorious being, your own ascended master presence. Feel this ascended master presence that you really are. Feel this complete unity with your source of life, light, and love. Visualizing your body made of light, your garments made of light. Feel the scepter of power in your hand and the crown of victory on your head. Try to feel this glorious being that you are in the cosmic level. A majestic being. And then visualize it from the hands, the heart, and third eye of the ascended presence that you are. Rays of love emanating towards the earth, bathing the planet, its atmosphere, and our life within, with the pure divine love of your ascended heart. Let your love flow to bless all the nations. Let your love flow to bless all kingdoms of nature. Visualize your love descending upon the fauna and flora of this planet. Visualize your love charging the forces of nature with the perfect balance of the ascended masters. Let your love flow throughout the atmosphere of this planet and visualize your love illuminating the thought forms within the atmosphere. Raising those thought forms to the perfect patterns of the Ascended Master octave. And then, when you feel the planet saturated with these blessings, slowly descend back into your physical body, but now in perfect alignment and unity with your source of light, your I am presence, and hold this feeling and hold this vision. And to finish it, let us just visualize our electronic circle of protection. Feel that you are in the position of the Chila, that you are in perfect unity with your ascended master presence in your electronic body. Feel the violet flame blazing in through and around you. Feel your tube of crystalline white light substance closing your four lower bodies in ascended master perfection and protection. Seal this tube of light with the blue lightning of cosmic Christ purity, giving it almighty protection, and feel your I am presence flooding your whole world with its perfection, perfect balance, harmony, happiness, bring forth just a world of light, love, and perfection. And I call to our beloved I Am presence here, there, and everywhere, the source of creation that hold us all within this almighty protection, so that we may live on this planet, fulfilling our divine plan, but nevermore shall we be touched by human creation. And I know it's done and it's sustained. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And now, dear hearts, let us enter in our decrees and visualization. Today we are just going to do few of them because, yes, the theoretical part is a little long. But to start it, I just would like that you visualize yourself in that ascended master presence that you are, and all of us that are doing this service in this moment, that we form a circle of light around this planet, and let us send again the wisdom, discernment of our beloved I Am presence to this planet, and especially to America. Let us send a thought form of light and love and wisdom to bless all American people, so they may decide in ascended master perfection whatever is the best for America and the world. And I ask that this same blessing can be given to all the nations on this planet. And I know it's done and it's sustained. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And let us do these two decrees for America. Beloved, mighty and presence and great divine director, seize possession of America, the government and her people. Control her resources and direct her activities by thy almighty perfection. Envelop her in that invincible wall of light through which naught can pass but the perfection of the ascended masters, and keep it eternally sustained. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. Beloved mighty and present Saint Germain, great divine director, Cyclopeia, powers and powers of light, take command, hold dominion, and produce perfection in the 2024 elections in America, bringing to victory only the candidate who can best serve thy light and who can do the best for America and the world. I know it's done and it's sustained. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And beloved mighty and presence, and beloved Elohim of purity, I demand, I command the removal of all the limitations and problems from my word that have been the interference with my channel of boundless supply. Remove every focus of impurity in and around me right now, everywhere, forever, of my own free will. I take my stand for unconditional, invincible purity and obedience in this outer self. All unkindness, resentment, irritation, secret thoughts and feelings of impurity, I demand annihilated and prevented, so the light of my higher mental body through this outer self holds the condition in which perfect balance and invincible purity forever manifest. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And mighty and presence, great host of ascended masters, great angelic host, great cosmic beings, and all who govern these systems of worlds. In the cosmic activity of the all-seeing eye of God, what me every second, each day, and see that I do not think, say, feel, hear, or experience anything but your almighty victory and perfection in all I do forever. Pours through me your violet consuming flame and the most powerful radiation of indestructible harmony to be the authority that controls all conditions in which I must move. And see, they affect me in my world only harmoniously, right now, everywhere, forever. And I demand it is manifest, manifest, manifest in all our victory, victory, victory attained right now. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And let us call the victory for the earth. Beloved, mighty, victorious, I am presence, great central sun, Helios and Vesta, Elohim of Hercules, the Elohim of purity, beloved Astrea, Archangel Michael, Ascended Master Ermoria, K17, Saint Germain, and your legions of light. Cease, hold inactive and transmute all thought forms of misqualified energy in and around me and in and around all mankind. Transmute, transmute, transmute them all. Replace them with the Ascended Master's substance, illumination, love, and constructive motives. Remove all discarnate entities out of the atmosphere of earth and into the temples of light and temples of learning. Seal each one in a violet Maltese cross of Saint Germain. Withhold and withdraw all power from all destructive forces and from all individuals with destructive intent. Withhold and withdraw all power from all destructive forces and from all individuals with destructive intent. Withhold and withdraw all power from all destructive forces and from all individuals with destructive intent. Let the powers of light descend unto earth and take full command. Let the powers of light descend unto earth and take full command. Let the powers of light descend unto earth and take full command. Cut the earth free, give her cosmic victory. Cut the earth free, give her cosmic victory. Cut the earth free, give her cosmic victory. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And I demand the inner essence of my beloved mighty and presence make me the strength within to conquer everything. I demand the invincible victory of beloved God, harmony, sacred Father, power of indestructible harmony, enfold me, enfold us. Right now, this instant, everywhere, forever. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And when you do this, your victory is as certain as that you make the call. So be it. And beloved, mighty and presence, I demand mankind be compelled to awaken to the full understanding of the necessity of making the ascension and blazing the illuminant comprehension of how to do it through the victory and power of the secret love star. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And beloved mighty and presence, I call legions of victory from the great magnificent manifestations on Venus, ever attend me, bless me, and help me maintain victory everywhere in this world to the fullness of my every heart's desire and the victory of the ascension for all, and wherever possible, the original divine way without passing through the change called death. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And I would like that you can feel the flame of ascension that is white and radiant like snow under the sun. Just feel that radiant white flame in through and around you and raising you in this moment into the ascended master presence that you are in the cosmic level. And I know it's done and it's sustained. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. Please, beloved mighty and presence, hold us in the ascension flame until we are completely free. And I know it's done and it's sustained. So be it. And now, dear hearts, before we start our subject of today, let us do a recap of our last class. In the last service, we have discussed about the mental body. You remember we have the mental plane or the mental realm, and that is subdivided in 7 subplanes, and we have 2 vehicles to experience life in this realm. We have the lower mental. In the lower mental, we have what we normally call mental body, and then we have the higher mental that we use there, our vehicle called higher mental body. In Theosophical teachings, they call it causal body sometimes. And so we have talked about that this mental body is a subtle fluid-like substance and shaped by thought. It surrounds the emotional body and serves as the vehicle for intellectual expression. And as an individual's intellectual development progresses, so does the mental body. So our mental body grows with the development of our intellect. And as we develop the mental power, our ability to think, so it becomes more organized and defined. It is characterized by its oval, egg-like shape and its radiant atmosphere, which permeates both the physical and emotional bodies. And it's good to see that the mental body manifests itself through color, sound, and form, the three of them at once, serving as the source and realm of thought forms. So the thought forms dwell in the lower mental and also in the astral realm or emotional realm. In the Ascended Master teaching, sometimes we call it feeling world. And we finish more or less in this way. And now we are going to continue this subject talk more specifically about the thought forms. And I use some information from 4 books. The first and more important, I think, is Thought Forms by Amy Bizan and Leadbeater, and it's a theosophical book. And then I took 3 books from the British Freedom Teachings. That is the Journal 5, the book Dictations, and Thomas Prince Private Bulletin, book 2. So I use these books to build up this presentation. And to start it, I would like to read the definition of thought forms given by the Mahachohan in one of these books. The Master told us, a thought form is a product of creative process of the mind. It is the result of drawing energy from the universal substance and molding it into a certain pattern which forms a cup of a small or large design, and this cup is then filled with the electronic light substance that vibrates at the same rate as the original thought pattern. So as we think, we create in our mental level a shape, an outline, like a draw at first without colors. And then as we put our attention on it and charge it with our feelings, so we feed it with our emotions and give it colors, brightness, and definition. And for that, we use a substance. First is the universal substance that we use in the mental level to mold the outline, and then through our emotions, you put on it the substance, the elemental substance from our emotional realm. And because we are talking about thought forms, and thought forms are created by thought and emotion, I put it a small definition what a thought is. And we read, the word thought refers to an idea, opinion, or mental processes that occurs in the mind. It is the act or process of thinking, understanding, reasoning, or imagining. A thought can be a single idea or a series of ideas that an individual considers or reflects upon. It encompasses all mental activities, both conscious and subconscious, and can be influenced by emotions, experience, and knowledge. And we are going to talk more about it in another slides. Our experience and knowledge play a crucial role in shaping our thoughts. Past experience provide a framework for how we interpret new information and situations, while accumulated knowledge learning allow us to draw connections and make informed judgments. So the past experience, the memories form a framework, and our knowledge in what we have learned draw connections between things that happens in our lives. And so after that we can make judgments. In essence, thought is a dynamic and multifaceted process that is central to our ability to navigate and make sense of the world, whether through analytical reasoning or creative imagination. Our thoughts drive our perceptions, decisions, and actions, make them an integral part of the human experience. So everything starts with the thought, and the thought is filled with an emotion. And for this reason, I put here also a small definition of what emotional is. So, emotion is also a multifaceted psychological tapestry woven from three essential threads: a personal experience, a physiological reaction, and a behavioral or expressive response. These vibrant feelings ranged from joy and sorrow to anger, fear, surprise, and disgust are pivotal in shaping human behavior and guiding our choices. Emotions may be ignited by internal musings, imagination, or external occurrence, so the impacts that we receive from the outer world, fluctuating in both intensity and duration. They form the essence of our human journey, intricately influence our interactions with the world and one another. So emotions are so important because we are going to read a dictation from the Mahachohan, I think, that thoughts without emotions cannot become things. But we are going to discuss it more a little later. And then it's really important that we realize very clear who thinks and feels through us, because many people think that they think with the brain, but they do not think with the brain. We do not think with the physical body. We do not feel with the emotional body. And we do not also think with the mental body, the lower mental. We do not think through it too. The four lower bodies are just garments, like the clothes that I am using, you are using. You are within those clothes. And in fact, we may say that the mind and emotions are seen as emanations from the higher planes, which build up our individuality And I don't know if you remember, we talked about the individuality is made of our highest three vehicles of expression. That is the electronic body, the causal body, and the higher mental body. And so those three vehicles build up our individuality. The electronic body and the causal body would could never act in these lower levels of experience because they are in cosmic realms. And so they use the higher mental body that is still a permanent vehicle, and through this higher mental body that we are going to study it more, I think, in the next year. This year we don't have more time for that. That is the higher mental body, which is the true breeded, because the higher mental body can communicate very well with the electronic body and the causal body, being the vehicle of both of them in these lower levels. And the higher mental body, even though it doesn't accept imperfection, can also seize what happens in these lower levels, and is the higher mental body that is also called the higher intellect or the higher ego, not the small ego that normally we see in many spiritual teachings call about the ego as a self, but that higher intelligence that incarnated in this outer activity made of the four lower bodies. And of course, when that consciousness, great consciousness, is in the lower levels, it cannot act until those lower levels are completely purified. Sometimes it stays there, is the consciousness that think and try to feel, but is confused by the mistake, the wrong patterns that dwell in these lower levels of our beings. So just continue reading. So uh, the mind and emotions are seen as emanations from the higher planes, which build up our individuality, filtered through the mental and astral bodies before manifesting in the physical brain. Thus, while the brain processes and expresses thoughts and emotion, it's not the originator of this experience. Instead, the brain acts more like a receiver or transmitter, translating the non-physical impulses from the higher planes into physical experience, and also translate the impulses of the outer world, the impacts that we have from the outer world, translate it into signals, and raise it for the higher levels of our being. To illustrate this concept, consider, for example, the analogy of a radio. The radio itself does not create the music, it just plays it. So rather, it receives the signals from a transmitter and convert those signals into audible sound. Similar, the human brain receives and translates the subtle energy impulses from the higher planes into thoughts and feelings that we experience in our daily lives, and also what we receive from the outer world. It just translate it and raise it in this the vibrations that our higher levels can understand. So the brain is just this receiver and transmitter, and I think we'll talk about it when we discuss about the nervous system in few classes before. No, and we are going to repeat this information in a depth level in future. So it is the individuality that thinks and feels through our four lower bodies. The four lower bodies, it's really good that we always realize it's just garments. Of course, all the bodies has its own consciousness too, but is not the same higher consciousness that he can really produce this linear thinking and feeling. And we are going to see the difference in the future too. And just to remember a little bit this nature of the mental plan, because it's so important that we can understand it. In the mental plane that is here, we have the bridge. The bridge is the higher mental body. So it is through the mental plane that the higher levels of our beings can act and evolve through the astral and physical body. So this mental plane is the bridge through the higher mental body. And the matter of the mental plane is so sensitive. I put here, no, it's so, it has malleability. It changes all the time. Every time that we say something, it forms images and vibrations, and it changes all the time. And sometimes we uh, raise many kinds of pictures and forms at the same time as we are talking about many things together. And those forms arise and dissolve, or arise and some stay, and we are going to see why. But it's so sensitive, the matter of the mental plan. And I put here, thoughts are considered to have form and substance, albeit finer and more fluid than physical matter. So it's true, because as we see objects here, no, and for us is concrete, when we are in this mental body, the thoughts that we have there are so concrete, like the objects that we have here in this outer world. And this means that our mental activities can shape and influence the reality of this planet, this physical plane, much like how a sculptor molds clay into a statue. In this context, the quality and nature of our thoughts can significantly impact our mental environment, and by extension, our overall spiritual development. And then it's important to see the creation of thought forms. And they are created through the power of concentrated mental activity. When a person focuses their thoughts and emotions intensely on a specific idea or intention, they generate a form of energy in the mental level and then the astral level. This energy takes shape in the astral or mental plane, creating a tiny thought form. The strength, clarity, and duration of a thought form depend on the intensity and consistency of the thoughts and emotions that give rise to it. For instance, a fleeting thought may produce a weak and short-lived thought form, while a deeply held belief or passionate desire can create a powerful and enduring one. And beloved Mahachohan explained in another discourse, I put there a note where I took that. Thought forms cannot manifest without feeling. The feeling nature of each life stream is endowed by God, the Father, the I Am Presence, to give life to the thought forms by passing the vibratory action of the feeling nature through the thought form and setting it into motion. Just as I pass the breath of life through the infant and set the physical form into possession. I don't know, I think all of you know that the first breath that activates the physical body of a baby is given always by the Mahachohan in person. And also the last one before we pass. So it takes it, or he takes it back on himself, because it's the Mahachohan that gives life through the breath of life, the breath of God to these physical garments. And so he says, without the breath of life, the infant form could not take up an active existence, but would disintegrate. Without the feeling nature passing through the thought form would disintegrate and return to the unformed, to the universal substance. It is thus that without feeling, the forms have no sustaining power and do not become things. So through, as we think something, for example, I open the newspaper and I read something. If I do not put my feeling there, sometimes always something arises, mental pictures of what I am reading. But if I do not put my feeling, those thought forms, just as they rose, they also disappear. And so they not stay for a long time, sometimes just for seconds in the atmosphere, and again they disappear. But as I put my feeling on it, so I just give it, like the Mahashohan give life to the baby body, we give also life to those pictures, mental pictures, and they become vibrant things. And we are going to talk more. Sometimes they can be so vibrant and has such a power and also endures for a long time, even throughout embodiments. So it is through the feelings that we give power to all the things. Thoughts without feelings cannot create real things. And we see that the thought forms can be divided in three classes. That which takes the image of the thinker. When we think of ourselves somewhere else, we can create a thought form that appears there. This form can sometimes be seen by others and mistaken for the person. Strong thoughts can create strong forms that may even appear physically real. Thanks God, The most of us has no great mental power and also emotional powers. Otherwise, we would see real monsters in this world, created by our negative thinking and feeling. But it's through this first class that the ascended masters can appear in several places at same times around the world. So the ascended master may be here in Germany, for example, but they would like to give some service, for example, in India, in America, in Brazil, in Africa, in China. It doesn't matter. Maybe in 10 places different. So they, because they have mental power, they have feeling power, they created how many thought forms are necessary of themselves. And they just send those thought forms programmed to do what they would like to do in those areas. And so the real body of an ascended master can be, for example, here in Germany, but he places um, 10 other bodies to do service for him in other countries or places around the world. And they can do it in such a way that that thought form can take visibly condition a visible and tangible body and work really in material things in several places at same times around the world. And we may develop these things too as we expand the power of our intellect, use it in the right way, guided by divine intelligence. And so we can create a soft form of ourselves and place ourselves in a place. And if we have mental power, we can make it visible, manifested there. And then there are the thought forms that take the image of some material object. When we think of things, we create a mental image of that thing that we thought. And these images can be of people, places, and objects. For this example, when I created this image, to be the cover of ourselves, I put in a lot of small things, and you can imagine here, I don't know, I do not count it, but there is maybe 30, 40, I don't know. But in our auras, we have hundreds and thousands of these small, tiny forms. For example, I love my dog, Kendrick. So because my love of him and I think of him and I care of him, there are already a tiny soft form of my dog in my aura. I love Saint Germain. I am always thinking on him. I am always sending my love to the Master. So that is a tiny Saint Germain in my aura. So in my aura, that is in the level of my emotional level and mental level, there are hundreds and thousands of thought forms, and especially those ones that are more connected, that I feed more every day. If I work with the roses, like my husband loved roses, and so there are so tiny roses in his aura, and I can see them. So everything that you think, you put in your aura as a tiny entity there. If you think in something bad, you also put it there. If you think, for example, in monsters, in destruction, you create those tiny things. And according to the power of your thinking and the consistency of your thinking, you have those destructive things walking with you and sleeping with you all day long. So, and those thought forms that we have in our aura can be sometimes so powerful that others can also see. And the important thing, they always influence us in our decisions because we create them and they are constantly radiating their properties to our mental and emotional level, and we become influenced by those entities that we create. And there are the third classes of thought form that sometimes takes a form entirely of its own. For example, I put here in our picture a heart with wings that sometimes can be a thought form that we send always protection to someone. So pink is made by my love, and the heart with wings maybe is my heart trying to protect someone. If I love tea, I maybe have a cup of tea, tiny cup of tea in my aura that I create. Or, but that is the material object, and that is here that I am talking about now is this another that is not really an object, but is, for example, a heart with wings or a geometric form, or sometimes dust of light. They take because our thoughts and emotions are very complex, and sometimes we mix multiple thoughts and emotions, and they form not really a special thought form, but it takes different forms, and we are going to study some of these thought forms that is in the book Thought Forms by Enibzan and Ledbetter in the next year with more depth. Today we are just talk about the basics. So it's good to see, because we are talking about this creation of thought forms, that we have three great principles that define them. First, the quality of our thought determines the color, and the nature of the thought determines the form. The nature happens in the mental body, and the quality is made by the emotional body. So the outline, the nature is given in the mental level, and the quality by the emotional level that creates the color. And the definiteness of the thought determines the clearness of outline of that form. Sometimes people has very difficulty to visualize things because they cannot really visualize things vivid and all clear. They everything they think they can see, for example, beloved Saint Germain's face, but when they close the eyes, they cannot see more Saint Germain inside them. For this reason, we have images to help us to connect with the masters, because sometimes we cannot do it by our own mental power and ability, because we do not develop that ability until this moment. We need to work on that in the future. So we have these three principles, and talking about the shape and color, we know that positive thoughts generate thought forms with bright, harmonious color, while negative thoughts produce darker and chaotic forms. And just a little bit about the meaning of colors, we may say that black defines hatred. When we hate, we create the paint of the nature. If I hate in someone, I create a tiny form of that person in my aura, charged with the color black. And the color is because I am hating that person. If I am love a person, I might create a tiny picture of that person, but now not in black or not in dark gray, but with a bright pinky or a crimson, depend of the kind of love that I am feeling. And so the nature is that person because I think on a person, and when I think on a person, I create a tiny miniature, a tiny uh, replica of that person in my aura, but what is surround it and the color is defined by my emotion. I can think on a person in a positive way, or I can think it in a negative way, and you define the color of that thought form. Red indicates anger, when we are anger and fighting. Blue, in opposite, is devotion, religions, feeling. Devotion can be also green, and the brightness of the colors can also provide us clues about the strength and the intensity of our emotions. If you love just a little bit, can be maybe a pale pink, but if I love so much with great intensity, that pink becomes vibrant and vibrant. So depends in the intensity of my feeling. And when next year we are going to study it, just really study the thought forms that we generate in its color, and when I go to talk more about it with that. And just to say about the complexity, because simple thoughts create simple thought forms, but complex ideas can manifest as a completely different structures, and normally we the most of thought forms are very complex because sometimes when I feel on someone that I love, but I just do not only love, sometimes I am putting another emotions on it, and that is not more a sort form of pure love, but there are a mixed um, um, a connection of several emotions in that structure that can make it change to a completely different shape. For this example, this subject is a very complex one, and we may come back and study it each time with a little more depth until we can understand it. And then there are the thought forms that we create on purpose and without intention. For example, when we send love to the world, we are create a thought form on purpose to heal the world, to bless the world. When we visualize that we are within our electronic circle, we are creating that thought form for our protection. Everything is thought form. And yes, I may do it on purpose for my blessings to the blessings of others. And sometimes I create them unintentional, without intention, because just is, and the most of time people do not think, but they are think it, or I don't know how to say it. No, I am here. I am not thinking by myself, but what I am thinking is just a byproduct of thought forms that are in my atmosphere. And I think that I am thinking, but I am not thinking. And most of the time, unconsciously, I cannot perceive that I am just repeating byproducts, things that are in the atmosphere or that are being emanated by others near me. And cause effect. The law of karma can just act in our lives in this physical plane through thought forms. It cannot act here without thought forms. So negative thought forms lead us to negative consequences, and positive thought forms create positive outcomes in our lives. And the karma works on these levels through thought forms. For this reason, it's so important to understand them so that we can clear our negative accumulation. And the type of them, positive and negative, as everyone knows that. Sometimes we have a multitude of bigs just complain, criticize, and we see a cloud of dark clouds around those people. And then come a sun bright presence, because cannot uh, is not affected by those negative things and hold just harmony and positive things, is aligned with its own I am presence. And when you see that person walking through that multitude of dark clouds, it's so bright, and sometimes it dissolves those negative clouds too. So positive emotions generate positive thought forms, and negative emotions uh, generate negative ones. And of course, negative things just create harmful conditions for ourselves. And not only for ourselves, they also expand the negativity to the surrounds, to our vicinity, to everyone that um, is connected to us. And the thought forms influence uh, our reality. So thought forms impact the physical world in subtle ways. Subtle ways. When individuals hold strong, coherent thought forms, they can manifest their intentions more effectively. For this reason, today we have these coaches that work with manifesting positive thinking, positive feeling. We have um, hundreds and thousands of people working with it in this moment, because it's something necessary for this cosmic moment that we are living. People need to learn to think positive and to feel positive. And for this reason, we see many vehicles teaching the same thing in the outer world. So this phenomenon is often explored in a spiritual practice that we see, like visualization and manifestation techniques, and where practitioners focus on their goals to bring them into reality. So thought form impact the environment, impact our lives and the lives of others, and you can use it with many techniques to bless us and the others. Interpersonal dynamics, thought forms can impact relationships and interactions with others. A person who consistently generates positive thought forms might attract positive experience and relationships, while someone who creates negative thoughts might encounter more conflict and difficulty in their interactions. And I think all of you know about that. Thought forms can inspire others with similar feelings and thoughts. For example, Hindus, devotion can inspire devotion in others, even if they have different beliefs. Thinking deeply about a topic can encourage others to think similar, even if they don't think about the same exact thing. In this way, everyone who thinks positively is helping others to be more optimistic. For example, I love the mighty young presence. I am so devoted to my mighty young presence, and several times in my day, I just say, thank you, mighty and presence, thank you. And my devotion, that I charge this house with that devotion, just, for example, it acts on my husband. My husband is not awake for the mighty and presence, but that feeling of devotion works on him, and he becomes even more devoted to what he is awake in this moment. For example, garden. He cannot feel devotion for God because he is not awake to spiritual things. But my devotion influences him to be devoted, for example, what is higher in his level of thinking, that is nature. So he is even more, each day, more and more devoted to the nature because of my feeling of devotion. Maybe my feeling of devotion work on my neighborhood, and maybe my neighbor, for example, in the left, maybe is not awake to the thing that he must, but he belongs to a church, and maybe in the church they talk about Master Jesus and the Christ, and maybe my devotion is work on him or her, that is my neighbor, to be more and more loyal and devoted to the Christ. So it doesn't matter that they do not believe in the same thing, but my feeling of devotion make them more devotional to what they believe. And every one of you is doing right here now the same. What you expand in your island, that is your house, you are expanding those feelings to charge the minds and hearts of everyone that is around you. So for this reason, you need to be careful to not expand negative conditions, because it's not good for us and it's not good for others, and you just create bad consequences in our lives. And especially when it's collective. For example, I put here a picture that I found from the Indian, the holy, the festival of colors that occurs normally in spring, in the beginning, and I think in the March, in the end of March or mid of the March, that celebrates love, that celebrate happiness, that celebrate the victory of the light over darkness, and the spring. And in that day, in that moment in India, there is lots of bright, radiant thought forms. And if you go there, or if you connect with that feeling that day, you are going to feel the same, because it's thousands or millions of people feeling the same in that day, that is so real for us, that we feel the same if you connect to it. That is the things that happens when we belong to spiritual groups. sometimes in a good way, sometimes not so good, for sure. If our group has maybe thought forms of beliefs, negative beliefs, it's sometimes difficult for us not to agree, because when you are so connected in an organization or in a religious movement, that sometimes we just take on those beliefs because we are immersed in the same thought form of the people that we related to in that organization. And everything that is collected has more power. So gathering, of people, mass gathering, for example, the Super Bowl in America, people that love it, when they connect it, that is a fever in that moment. And you are not just feeling yourself, you are feeling what a multitude of beings are feeling, or is feeling in that moment. When you are in a protest, you become more irritated, more critical, because we are immersed in those thought forms of criticism against our subject. And if you are there and we say no to that thing, you just move on, the same feeling, the same thought. And we think that we think the same and feel the same, but no, we are being moved by those thought forms in that group, in that multitude. And we see things that sometimes become so real. You, for example, if you believe in monsters, if you believe in negative things, and there is a group that believe in the same things, you create those entities. And those entities are not real, but they are real for you because they dwell in your aura, and they dwell in the environment that you go and you stay. And sometimes you can see the monsters that you feed and the group that you are feeding together, and they become real in your life, and they attack their own creations, and you feel, see, they exist because they are attacking me, but you are feeding them. They become strong and they attack you, and you think that they are real, and you are imprisoned in that level by your own creation. And the more people think in the same thing, they create sometimes those such powerful entities, and they become real for those group of people, and also can also perturb or disturb others that may be open to their vibrations. But anyway, you were going to also go more in depth in this subject in the future. And everything, I think every one of us know that some such forms can affect our atmosphere. For example, a room filled with positive thought forms might feel uplifting and peaceful for us and for everyone that come in, whereas a space cluttered with negative thought forms might feel oppressive or unsettling. For example, that happens with me all the time. But yesterday was really so that I needed to share with you. I know that is a little bit longer, this class, but for example, I was in an event with my husband yesterday. Was everything good? But of course, it was his colleagues from work, not my people, no, but his people. And I was with him, of course, with all the love of my heart, and I prepared food to bring there too. So I was working on it also on Thursday, and that was nice. But the environment so different from me, the subjects that we discuss and things are so different from my normal routine. So we left here about 3 p.m. and we returned back over midnight, a little bit over midnight, half one, I think, in the night. So, but when I was coming home, drive home, no, and I was so heavy because I needed to concentrate on myself so much and to talk about things that I am not used to. And so I was having heavy weight, and especially my brain was so heavy, so weight, that I started having a little headache. And I said, oh my God, I hope that when I come home, maybe I take a pill against headache, because yes, I don't know if I can sleep. I'm feeling so heavy. And was that environment? Was everything nice and good, but different, about 35 people and with different vibrations that are not connected with my spiritual things. And yes, those thought forms pressed me a lot, make a great pressure on me. And I was feeling a little headache. And then I thought, I go to get a pill against the headache, a medicine, when I get home. But what happens in the moment was instantaneously. When I enter my house, I felt the energy of my house. In the same moment, that pressure just disappeared. Was so, and I thought, my God, that was really not me, was not something in my body, that was energy. Of course, I have used also the violet flame during I was in the car. But when I enter home in this energy, in this ascended master feelings and vibrations, I just, in the same moment, the headache disappeared, and I was vitalized again. So we see that we just, when we create that peaceful environment in our house, we can place the healing flame in our house, that we can really feel that healing when we are out in negative environments that sometimes we cannot avoid. No, for example, I have my husband, sometimes I need to stay with him and to follow him in things. And so when you come back to our places, we feel that bright, beautiful energy, and we feel the healing on ourselves. And people that come in our house just feel. I had a friend in Switzerland, and she, when she was feeling bad, she always came to my house, and she always told me, please, Lisa, you don't need to do anything for me. I just would like to lie down on your sofa, because when I am here, I feel so good. And she just lie down in my sofa and sleep sometimes for 30 minutes. And then she was healed and soared to her own house. So we see that to charge our house with ascended master love, with ascended master kindness, with ascended master healing is so important, and it becomes so powerful that it is a great good thing for us and for everyone that comes in our house. And also when it's negative, we feel it too. And we can use this subject of thought forms, because thought forms, the karma can just act as in our lives thought forms. So this subject is so important to understand, because it's through our transmutation of thought forms that we can clear the negative karmic accumulations in our lives. And we do it through affirmations, decrees, meditation, visualization, good deeds. And we are going to talk more about it also, I think, in the next time. And beloved Mahachohan explained, whether a student reads truth literature, gives his attention to what is said on radio or television, or reads a trashy book, immediately the process of creating thought forms takes place in the outer mind. For every written or spoken word contains within itself a mental picture, and a corresponding thought form is exuded from that individual. It would be wise, therefore, for the alert student to consciously create thought forms either of the master, the angelic host, or any expression of beauty, as well as of abounding health, strength, and prosperity. These cups will immediately draw the substance of the universe from the hearts of the perfect ones, the ascended masters, angels, archangels, Elohim, and will become part of the enriching environment in which the student dwells. They will also be a tremendous protection around him and can be a great expansion of his assets, beliefs, uh, to others in uh, his environment. They can also be intelligent messengers that you carry the consciousness of the gods here, ascended masters, archangels, Elohim, to other people in their environment. So every time we are create thought forms, and for this reason, it's so important to be mindful. This mindfulness that we need to develop, because if we are not aware of our thoughts and feelings, we are just being manipulated by the thought forms of our past that we have created and are in our auras, or the thought forms that dwell in the atmosphere around us, in the atmosphere of our planet, or in the atmosphere of the places that we circulate, like organizations, spiritual groups, and even virtual groups. No, so if I am not aware, if I'm not aware, I I think I am think, but I am not think. I just being instruments of those thought forms that are in my atmosphere or in the atmosphere of the planet. And when I say thought forms, thoughts and emotions together. And Archangel Michael told us in this discourse, can you understand then how necessary it is for you among the members of the human race to come to an understanding of the elemental's consciousness and seize in the name of God creating thought forms which the elementals are forced to fill with their own lighty bodies, and which are a distortion to life, imprisoned and then sometimes for centuries in vicious vortices, which would cause you to faint, were you to look upon them with the inner eye. O God, entering a large city like this, seeing the imprisoned elemental life, intelligent substance, mind you, which, in obedience to the decree of some human being, is suffering incarceration in this vortex of lust and anger, of hate and resentment, my heart cries out for men and women who are willing to set this life free. It's for this reason that Saint Germain and all the Ascended Masters, especially, I don't know, in many new dictations, but in the original dictations from the I Am activity and the breathing to freedom, they always tell us to set life free, to release the elemental life, because the substance that we use to mold our emotions are elemental life, elemental beings. So the thought form is held by elemental beings, and they fulfill what we tell them to do. And of course, if they create sometimes its own artificial consciousness to influence, that is not a conscious but a momentum to influence the environment and the owner that has created them with the same things. But when you think negative, we just, or we give attention to a gossip, a criticism, anything that we give attention that is negative, we are imprisoned elemental beings, and we shall not be free until we purify those substances and we set free those elemental life again. And to finish it, beloved Mahashohan told him, through the power of visualization, you can create caps of the Ascended Master likeness without any limit. Every time a person thinks of an Ascended Master, like I told you about Saint Germain, the I Am Presence, he creates a thought form, a tiny thought form of that being, and when he pours his love to that being, the thought form takes on the love of the student, the Chila, for the master, and begins to pulsate in the consciousness of the Chila. So I love Saint Germain. I think always on Saint Germain. Always I am talking to his image, and I have this tiny likeness in my aura, and it's so strong that when I think and I send love to the master, or I would like to know something, I just send my love. That love puts in vibration that tiny thought form in my aura that is not so tiny, because I think so much on Saint Germain, and begins to vibrate. As it vibrates, it contacts the master in its own realm where he is, and the master knows what I am asking or what I am thinking, and just pour back into that thought form the answer or what I am needing of energy. And through that thought form, I feel the release on my aura instantly, and sometimes it comes the clear image in my mental screen what the master would like to talk me about that issue that I was reflecting, and ask him to help me to find a clear out picture of these things, to figure out that thing in a good way. So it's so important what we are doing, to think on beloved Gautama as I did this animation, to think on the I Am Presence, to think on the Ascended Master. It's not a illusion. We are creating those thought forms of those things, and those likeness of the masters in our aura are real portal of connection to the master mind and feeling, and it's through those tiny thought forms that their blessings flows to our life. And we may discuss it more in another time. And he continues here just to finish. At the same moment, the master whose likeness the Chila is contemplating sought pours the substance of his love into that sought form and energizes it with his consciousness, like I told you. So in Sumara, dear heart, thought forms are key concept in the Ascended Master teachings, in the Theosophic teachings, and I think for all spiritual teachings that emphasize the power of our mind and emotions in shaping our reality. And by understanding and harnessing this power, we can potentially transform our lives and the world around us in profound ways. So it's all for today. I told you it would be a little longer, but I hope you got it. And next class, we are going to continue talking about the mental body. And to finish it, let us do just the great invocation, then the elixir, and then we are going direct to the end. So together, the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men, let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men, may Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where human creation dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. And now let us take the water and finish the call for the Elixir of Life. Beloved I am presence, Saint Germain, brotherhood of the Royal Teton Retreat, lords of the elements and powers of light, please charge this mineral water with the blessings from the Ascended Master's octave of light, and put here all the substances we need to restore the beauty, youth, health, vitality, and perfection of the Ascended Masters in our physical bodies. Transmute this water into the elixir of life. Transmute this water into the elixir of life. Transmute this water into the elixir of life. We are so thankful. By the light of God that never fades, I command, I demand, and it's done right now. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. We see with the activity of the elixir of life, we are creating such a powerful thought form that one day it may transform in front of us as a real elixir. And we are going to really be blessed by it. So let's visualize that within this elixir is whatever you need to manifest that perfection that you would like to have right here and now, and let us drink it together. Cheers. And so I just ask that the Ascended Masters, Elohim Archangels, take our selves, goals, and our understanding and knowledge and work on that to bless our lives and the world. And I know that we accept it, we feel it as true, and that those blessings manifest right here and now in our lives. So let's send our love and gratitude to the Brotherhood of the Royal Teton Retreat, to beloved Mahachahan, beloved Archangel Michael, Saint Germain, beloved Lanto, and all the greater ones. And let us ask them to give us wisdom, illumination, so that we can understand the importance of thinking and feeling in a constructive way, and that we hold our attention just on beautiful things, so that we may be free and help in the freedom of others too. Let's send our love to our great I Am presence. And let us trust that there is just this power and intelligence working on our lives and destiny. And let's send our love to this life, to this great presence here, there, and everywhere, and finish this service with the closing blessing. Together, beloved mighty I Am presence here, there, and everywhere, we love you, bless, and thank you forever, forever, and beyond, for I am in you, and you are in me. We are one on this journey through eternity. Almighty I Am, Almighty I Am, Almighty I Am. And dear hearts, thank you for your presence here today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I knew that could be longer, but I didn't have time to work on this instruction and to put it in maybe a simpler way. I have so many appointments this week that I didn't have time even to see the new words to pronounce it. You know, I am not native in English. I always need to see the new words, even though that sometimes I still pronounce them wrong. But when I have time, I just look to the new words and try to see how natives pronounce them. But I didn't have this time this week, so be kind of me, please. I am doing my best and I am learning this language every day to give you the best that I can. So thank you. Next week we are going to have the vlog 36 and we are going to continue to study the mental level of our beings, and I hope to see you next week. I just send you my great love, and I hope that you can have the most beautiful weekend and week, and that you can have joy in your life, that you can manifest whatever your heart desires in a constructive way, and that I can see and feel your presence next week here with me. God bless you, and I love you. Bye.